IPEM International students, I welcome you to your iLearn English language class. I am Mrs. Serene Little and today I will be taking up the second topic of your English language paper, that is letter writing. Now you already know that there are two types of letter formats, the formal letter and the informal letter. So we will begin with the formal letter format. Now, formal letters are written to officials, businessmen, editors, principals, etc. What is the purpose of writing these letters? The purpose is to make a complaint, draw attention to some public grievance, highlight an issue for public awareness, request for leave or absenteeism, make an inquiry, place or cancel an order, make a proposal. Then there are some other forms of formal letter which are written to mere acquaintances like your landlord or some other person whom you know by name. And the reason to write such letters are to draw attention to some problem, make an enquiry or make a complaint. There are certain important points to remember before you start a formal letter. So these points are basically quick tips for writing a formal letter. The first thing is that you are to stick to 3 paragraphs. Strictly stick to 3 paragraphs. Everything is to be on the left side. Lines are to be left after address and date. Pin code is mandatory. Stick to the margin and do not leave any space at all. For subscription, use yours faithfully for all formal letters and yours truly only for the editor. Another very important point is that you are not to spend more than 20 minutes on this section. That is the letter writing section. Whether you select the formal letter or the informal letter, you are not to spend more than 20 minutes on this section. After the quick tips, let's get into the details of how to write a formal letter. You always begin the formal letter with the sender's address, which is your own address. You start with the house number or building or colony with a comma, sector or area or street again with a comma, name of the city along with the pin code. Pin code here is compulsory and a full stop after the pin code. Leave a line. Then write the date. While writing the date, you are not supposed to use any hyphens or abbreviations. Hyphen is the dash before the th after abbreviations. You are not supposed to use hyphens and neither are you supposed to use abbreviations, which means short forms. There should be no short forms for month or year. You have to write the month and the year in full. TH after the date is to rest neatly on the line itself and not to be left hanging in mid-air. It should rest neatly on the line next to the date before the month. There should be a gap between TH and month. Month is to be written in full with a comma and then the year in full with a full stop. No short forms of any kind. Leave a line. Then write the designation and address of the recipient with all the details mentioned like the street or area, name of the city along with the pin code and a full stop after the pin code. You remember the address, like you have written your own address, you will write the in a similar manner, you will write the address of the recipient. You will put a comma after the street or area, and then you will put a full stop after the name of the city and the PIN code. Then you leave a line and you write the salutation. For salutation, you are to write dear sir or dear madam, and never to write dear ma'am. No short forms at all. In case of writing to acquaintances or strangers by name, like your landlord, teacher or coordinator, you can write dear Mr. Basu or dear Miss or Mrs. Datta. Leave another line and write the first paragraph, which is the introduction. You can begin the paragraph like this by writing, I would like to bring to your notice a pressing problem that has been a serious cause of concern. Now, the content will always be available in the matter itself, that is, in the question itself. Use the content in the introductory paragraph. Keep the language formal throughout the letter. Leave a line. Move on to the second paragraph, which will form the body of your letter. Expand on the content of the letter. Now, I have told you that the content will already be available in the question itself. You can expand on that content and discuss the issue or problem in detail. Understand and take up one by one all the multiple components asked in the question. You have to remember to address all the problems. You cannot leave out anything, marks will be deducted. You will have to take up all the components of the matter or the problem from the question, and you are to talk about each problem one by one. Remember to mention the problem and give two solutions as well. So here in the body, you are to mention the problem and give two solutions as well. Then you leave a line and you write the third paragraph, which will form the conclusion of your letter. You can start the paragraph in this manner by writing, I hope and request you to kindly look into this matter and take prompt action. I have also given other examples, like, you are therefore requested to kindly look into the matter and take prompt action. Look into the genuine problems of the residents of this locality and make arrangements for smooth and uninterrupted power or water supply, or look into the genuine concerns of the locality members and take necessary actions or steps to address this problem or issue, or make arrangements to carry out at least basic repairs of the road. Now, you can pick and choose from these examples depending on the question and the matter. The conclusion is always written in the form of a request. You are always supposed to write the conclusion in the form of a request in a very humble manner. Leave a line. In the subscription, you are to write yours faithfully with a comma when writing to the principal or the municipal commissioner or police commissioner or for any other formal letter. You are to write yours faithfully with a capital Y and a small f with a comma, and yours truly only in the case of writing to an editor. You will only write yours truly when you have to write a formal letter to an editor. Yours truly will also be written in the same manner with a capital Y, a small t and a comma. Now this will be followed by your full name. You have to write your full name below it exactly the way it is written in the sample letter. You will now see the sample letter and you will understand what I am talking about. You are never to write your name in bold or capital letters. Do not use apostrophe before or after S in yours. You are not to put an apostrophe in yours. It will be written in this manner. So let us quickly read the question of the sample letter. Write a letter to the police commissioner of your city drawing his or her attention to the menace of hawkers outside your school. Tell him or her what dangers they pose and offer solutions for their rehabilitation. This is the sample letter format of a formal letter. You begin the formal letter with the sender's address, that is your own address. Flat number 236, comma, block C, comma, Hillcrest View Apartments, comma, Salem Street, comma, Allahabad 211001, full stop. Then you leave a line and you write the date, 28th April, comma, 2020, full stop. You leave another line and you write the address of the recipient to whom you are sending the letter. Here it is the police commissioner, comma, police commissioner's office, comma, 6, comma, Cavalry Road, comma, Allahabad 211006, full stop. You leave another line. Then you write the salutation. Here you will write, dear sir, comma, and the first paragraph. I write to draw your attention to the menace of hawkers outside St. Paul's School in Nehru Nagar of our town. I am the secretary of the Swachh Bharat Club of St. Paul's School. The hawkers sell open food and cheap toys right in front of our school. A number of our school students crowd around them and the lane in front of our school gets blocked, dirty and congested. You leave a line and you write the body. In the body, you will write, I would request you to look into this problem and have the hawkers move into the field behind our school. This would ensure that they are not deprived of their livelihood and the area in front of our school is kept clean and congestion free. Here you have given the solution. You leave another line and write the conclusion of the letter. The hawkers must also be warned about the importance of necessary hygiene and the sale of clean food. This will ensure that students do not fall sick after eating food sold by the hawkers. I humbly request you to kindly consider my suggestions and take necessary steps as you deem fit to deal with the menace of hawkers outside our school. In the concluding paragraph, you have provided yet another solution and have ended with a request. You leave a line, you write thanking you. Now thanking you is not compulsory, it is a matter of choice. If you want to write thanking you, then you will write thanking you with a capital T and a small y followed by a comma. And if you don't feel like writing thanking you, you can omit thanking you altogether. But if you write thanking you, then you will leave another line and you will write the subscription. Here it will be yours faithfully with a capital Y, a small f followed by a comma. And Then finally your name. If your name is Santosh Haldar, you will write Santosh with a capital S and Haldar with a capital H. You will not write your name in bold or capital letters. Informal letter. Informal letters are written to friends and relatives to convey some message or news, to share your feelings and thoughts on some important issue, to advise or suggest, to invite somebody, or to make an announcement, etc. Important points to remember before you start an informal letter. Stick to 3 paragraphs. Everything is to be on the left-hand side. Lines are to be left after address and date. PIN code is mandatory. Stick to the margin and do not leave any space at all. Points to note while writing an informal letter. Always begin with the sender's address, which is your own address. You start with the house number, building or colony, followed by a comma, sector, area or street, again followed by a comma, name of your city along with the PIN code and a full stop. Leave a line, then write the date without using any hyphens or abbreviations. TH after date is to rest neatly on the line itself and not to be left hanging in mid-air. The month is to be written in full with a comma and then the year in full with a full stop. No short forms of any kind. Exactly like the formal letter. Leave another line, salutation. In an informal letter, you are to write dear and the name of the recipient. When you are asked to write a letter to your parents, then it has to be addressed to both parents. For example, dear parents, comma, or dear mummy and daddy, comma, or dear mother and father, comma. If you are asked to write to a parent, then it can be addressed to any one of your parents, like dear mother, comma, or dear mummy, comma, or dear father, comma, or dear daddy, comma. If you have been asked to write a letter to your siblings or cousins or friend, then it is compulsory to write their names and not brother or sister. I repeat, when asked to write a letter to your siblings or cousins or friends, it is compulsory to write their names and not dear brother or sister. So you will write dear Anu, dear Abhilash, depending on the name of your sibling or your cousins or your friend. In the introduction, you can write, I received your letter last week and was delighted or shocked or sorry or pleased to hear about whatever you have to write according to the question given. Please make sure that you begin your letter in this manner and not by writing, hi, hello, how are you doing? This is an informal letter, but your style and language should not be casual. It can be informal, but not casual. You leave a line after the introduction. You go to the body where you write the content of the letter, which should have 5 points at least in about 5 to 6 lines minimum or maybe more. So while attempting an informal letter, you have to write 5 points in 5 to 6 lines in the body. You leave a line and you write the conclusion. The third paragraph is the conclusion, which has your concluding sentences. You can conclude by writing, "Give my love to grandpa and grandma," or "Give my love to mummy and daddy." There are other examples as well. Let me read them out for you. You can also conclude by writing, "Convey my best wishes to," the names of the people. "Pay my regards to your parents and love to your brother or sister." This is in case you're writing a letter to your friend. "I'm looking forward to your visit." "I look forward to hearing from you." "Please let me know if I can be of any help." "We all miss you here." These are certain examples. You can make use of them in your letter. Then you leave a line and you write the subscription. Here you will write your loving son or your loving daughter or your loving brother or your loving sister, your loving nephew, your loving niece, grandson, granddaughter or friend with a comma and your first name below it, exactly the way it is written in the sample letter. Do not write in bold or capital letters. The topic of the sample informal letter is as follows. Imagine that you are in a boarding school and have performed poorly in your terminal examination. Write a letter to your mother explaining the reasons for your poor performance and tell her how you plan to do better in the forthcoming examination. As mentioned earlier by me, you will begin with your address. Since the question mentions that you are in a boarding school, you have to give the address of your school. Here it is Jingle Bells Residential School, comma, Kanpur 208002, full stop. You leave a line, you write the date, 25th April, comma, 2020, full stop. You leave another line and you write the salutation. You have again been asked to write a letter to your mother, so you will write, "Dear mummy" or "mother," comma. In the introduction, you will write, "I received your letter 2 days ago in which you have shown your disappointment on my half-yearly result that reached you last week. I'm truly sorry for the poor performance and I'm feeling very sad for having let you down so badly. I do not want to make excuses, but this last term I have been in and out of the infirmary several times. I had a bad attack of malaria and was unable to attend classes for about a week. Barely had I got over this when I broke into a rash because of the medication and had to go back into the infirmary. As a result of this, I missed many classes and scored very poorly in 3 subjects." After the introduction, you leave a line. In the body, you can write, "I have now picked up health and have requested my teachers to give me some extra assignments. I also plan to do group study with some of the other boarders of my class. I am sure that this will help me to catch up with my studies and I promise you that I will score much better marks in the next unit test exams." You leave a line and you write the conclusion. "Please do not be worried about my health. I am much better now. I look forward to meeting you during the midterm break." You leave another line and you write the subscription. "Yours lovingly" or "Yours affectionately" or "Your loving son," followed by a comma and your first name. I hope this video must have removed all your letter writing woes and would help you in writing well-drafted and perfect letters. Happy writing. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe, and stay connected while learning in a smarter way through the iLearn portal of IPEM International School.